tried a new way of raking today with this rake. I started in the center of the field and just did a double pass. I kind of closed the rake up so they were real close to each other, the two rakes. They're right in line with each other. I just did a double right in the middle of the field and then swung the rear rake all the way out to make a double windrow. Just been going back and forth around the field. Never tried doing it like that, but it works. I feel like you're wasting a lot of time driving on the end though. But this is only 17 acres, this field, so not that much time on the ends, I guess. Usually we just go round and round, but we're making two windrows generally at once with first cutting, but it's down some this year. We had a late, it got real warm early, and then the hay came out of dormancy, started growing good, and then we had a little cold spell, and that kind of hurt the hay, so there ain't nothing you can do about that except complain. Complaining don't help no part of it. So it is what it is. But the rake seems like it's doing a good job. You can see how it picks up here. The front rotor will pick up, and then the back rotor. So we're driving down the end of the field. So we'll pull this rake in, take it back out. Usually I would rake this hay in the morning with the dew still on so you wouldn't knock so many leaves off, but we got a little sprinkle this morning, about enough for equivalent to a heavy dew, so I couldn't rake it this morning with that on. I had to wait for it to dry off. But it's 90 degrees again today with the wind blowing, so it's drying pretty good today. And I would be planting, but I caught up to Dad. He's doing tillage in front of the planter. So I came over and did this. I didn't think it would dry off enough, but hell, I can go get the round baler hitched up and come bale this real quick before I go finish the last, I think there's 150 acres of beans left to go. So if it was all fit, I could easily do that in a day, but just gotta wait on him. But yeah, this seems to be going well. Some parts of the field are pretty good, but like that whole north side, or that over there, that ain't doing so good. We were talking about maybe ripping this field up after first cutting here and planting beans, but some of it's good, some of it's not. I don't know what to do. This field's only three or 4 years old. Usually we can get 5 out of a field or more. This field has had it rough since the day we planted it. In 2019, we had tremendous amounts of rain, and then it got dry, and then last year it was just super wet, and then not quite as wet as 2019, or I don't know. It hasn't had a rough life or easy life ever since we planted it. So this might be her last year. Well, we're gonna rip it up this fall anyway, but we don't know if we should plant beans here now or finish out this year and then rip it up this fall. Then I don't know where we're gonna put our field to replace this one. I don't know if it's gonna be the other. We split this field in half. This is 35 acres, so maybe we'll plant that to hay over there. I don't know. We'll have to check. Let's see. Well, in these New Holland 644 balers, you always want to make sure your net wrap brake is on before you net wrap, because she'll wrap up on that just tighter and tight. Take you about an hour and a half to cut all of it off. So much. Didn't even get the first bale made. We finally got it all out. Jesus Christ, 3 hours later. Yeah, the net wrap was wrapped completely around this one, and it was stuck in there. As you can see. Oh man, I'm so tired. I'm gonna go in the house, get something to drink, and maybe go see if that hay will still bale, even though it's dark. Doesn't feel like the dew has come down yet, so maybe we can still go do some baling. Tons of fun. If you can see all this net wrap, look at all this net wrap that I pulled out in chunks about this big. in little strands. What a miserable thing. Well, I just gave it a try. It works. Made 2 nice tight bales. This is a little wetter than I was hoping, but whatever. Just feed them off to a horse or cow tomorrow and they'll be fine. So I think we're gonna call it a day. Pretty tired. So alright everybody, I'll see you later. Well, I got the baler going. That was a nightmare to fix last night. It took me till about 11:30. Okay, monitor, I'm listening. Yeah, it took me till about 11:30 last night to pull out all that little net wrap. Oh, I don't want to do that again. So however I can avoid that, I most definitely will. Because my arms and hands are so sore from holding and pulling the pliers. Oh, the water jug fell over. It's getting a little windy now, but we got a good portion of this field done already. So that's good. Baler seems to be working all right now. Every once in a while I still have an issue with net wrap catching in the rollers in the middle of the bale. I don't know how to fix it. I don't know if it's not cutting cleanly or if the brake for the net wrap isn't holding the roll from spinning. I don't know. But I'm not gonna say it hasn't done it for a while, because that'll just jinx me. So, but as you can see, we've made a couple so far. I don't know how many. I'll tell you actually, 29. Made 29 so far. Moisture seems to be doing good. Oh. I would like to be small square bale in this, but I have to pull the engine out of my stacker to put a new exhaust manifold on it. And so far I haven't even got it out of the barn yet, so that will need to be done this week. So I'll pull the engine and the transmission, and then I'll probably take the whole engine somewhere and have them put the exhaust manifold in, because I heard it can be a real pain. Pull an engine, pretty easy. You just take bolts out, eventually it comes out. But you start tearing apart the engine, that's where my skills end up just pulling things apart. Yeah, this moisture meter really wasn't that hard to put on. I've got one on this one and one on my Massey Ferguson baler, because those are the only two that bale hay. But it's really not that hard to put on. It took us to put them on both of them. It took us like a couple hours. And most of that is just running wires, really. So not difficult at all. But they're not exact. You can't 100% rely on them. But they're helpful when you have spots with shady spot of a field or something, you know what to stay out of. Or like a heavy windrow like I'm in now. It says 11.5, but it could jump up to 18 in this heavy windrow. And then I would know to get out of this windrow. because we're doing all our messed up windrows right now. Where I was testing the baler last night. Yeah, that moisture meter is nice. I would like to get it's called a stroke counter on my small square balers. Just so I have somebody else running the baler. That way I could just tell them how many strokes or plunger to put into a bale. So that way they can go whatever speed they need to get that number. And I always have consistent bale lengths. But that'll be probably next year's edition. There's only so much room you have in here for monitors. And with that other balers, or this one, goes on multiple different tractors, whichever one I have available. But a Massey Ferguson baler only gets hitched to this one, the 7130 that I'm in now, because it has the acid applicator in here and a moisture meter and all the wiring for all that stuff. And I don't want to move all that stuff, so that only gets hitched to this one. This round baler can go on this 7130 or my 6400 or a case Maxim 125. I just have to move this monitor that's right below you here. Then the wire that's coming out right here. That's not so bad. This monitor just pops right out. They do have really expensive moisture meters that are really exact. They're called Gazika ones. They're really expensive, and I don't do enough hay to justify one of those. Those are about $5 or $6 grand a piece, I think. It's been a while since I looked into them, but they use microwaves to measure through the bale to see what the actual moisture is. Yeah, I don't do that much hay, but it would be nice. So if anybody is a multi-millionaire and wants to give me all kinds of money for one of them moisture meters, I'll take it. Well, we're on the last windrow of this field, and I've gotten 39 bales so far, so we'll end up probably with 40, 41 off of this 17 acres. That ain't real good, but you get what you get. So, we got 40 bale, something I guess. Get some hay in the barn for a couple customers and my horses. So, for the horses I take care of.